Hey, this is Frank. We're going to look at my SOK 100 amp hour battery installation in my van. Here's my trusty sidekick Kala. And I've been having some trouble with voltage sag in my van, so I'm going to show you what's happening. Currently the battery is fully charged. I'm in full sun right now, and I was drawing about 10 amps of current until the battery management system cut off the current, and my battery monitor is saying 14.3 volts of charge on the battery. My Rich Solar charge controller is saying 14.4 volts, and I used a multimeter at the battery terminals to check the voltage there, and that said 14.2 volts. So I'm going to demonstrate what happens to the voltage when I add load here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just turn on my DC fridge, which usually draws 2, 3, sometimes up to 5 amps of DC power. So I'm turning that on now. See down here, and I'm going to turn the temperature down a little bit so that it has to start drawing some current. Waiting for that to kick on here. Come on. Okay, there it goes. Compressor's starting up. So we're drawing 0.5 amp right now. Voltage is remaining steady according to the battery monitor and the charge controller. I'm gonna challenge it a little more, ask it to go down below freezing in max mode, so the compressor has to work a little harder. Being pretty moderate on the power draw right now. It must be just warming up. Okay, well that's taking too long. I'm going to move on to the next test. I'm going to turn on my inverter here. Got an 1100 watt modified sine wave inverter. Switch that on just for shits and giggles. Let's see, it's saying 14.3 volts, so it agrees with my other sources. So now I'm going to turn on my Instant Pot, which is rated at 700 volts, and I'm going to put it on a full power kind of situation so we can see the power draw. I'm just going to turn off the fridge actually, so we make sure we've only got one variable. So, okay, I'm going to pressure cook for 3 minutes on high. Okay, so that's starting to draw power, so it's drawing 43 amps, and the voltage has already dropped down to 12.7. According to the battery monitor, 12.5 over here, so those are roughly agreeing. The inverter, interestingly, says 11.5 volts. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, this is already more of a voltage sag than I've been told the SOK battery should produce. You should be able to give it 100 amps of, it should be able to output at least 100 amps of current without sagging down that low. So I'm gonna switch that off and show you a higher load. So I've got a little electric kettle that draws 800 watts. This usually generates some real problems. You can see now that I've drawn a few amps, the battery's in charging mode again. Still very, very close to fully charged though. So I'm inverter saying 13.4 volts. Battery monitor says 13.4. The charge controller says 13.6 on the battery. Switching on my 800 watt kettle here, and it's drawing nearly 60 amps, and we're down at 12.1 volts. So I'm just going to add a little bit to the load if I can. This fridge will cooperate here. Okay, so you can see now with the fridge running a little bit and the kettle 61 amps, and I'm below 12 volts. I'm getting an error code on my charge controller. 11.9. It's performing better today after I fully 100% charged the battery than it was before, but there's still quite a bit of voltage sag. So I think there's a defect with the battery here. Maybe the cells weren't properly balanced before it was shipped out. We'll see what the manufacturer has to say.